Hi, and welcome back to Paper, Paint and Palette Art Studio with Masha Hammerling. I'm so glad that you joined me again for this weekly tutorial, our second lesson. Thank you so much for joining me last week for my first lesson, and I also would like to show you my appreciation and thank you to all of those who commented, gave me nice reviews on my first art lesson, also those who liked my video, who shared my video, and I also appreciate all of those who mentioned that they will take this art lesson and share it with their children, their students, their friends. That's really the best part, and that's why I'm doing this. Today I will share with you second inspirational tutorial in a series of God of Second Chances. I will show you how God can make everything new, and that's how I called it. God is making everything new. And this lesson will be based on Revelations chapter 21, verse 3 through 7. In that passage, we will see how God can look into our situations from the different perspective. In the artistic part of this tutorial, we will be covering imagination, creativity, teamwork, line drawing, and different media forms. Also, we will be talking about 4 different elements of art that will be part of this lesson. So it will be dot, line, shape, and color. I'm also going to mention 2 principles of art: viewpoint and perspective. So let's start and see what type of encouragement God has in His Word and what type of materials we're going to need to create today's lesson. So for this project you will need the Bible, a piece of paper, a copy of paper, sketch paper or drawing paper, and different medias that you are feeling comfortable with or your students would like to use. They can use some new media or they can use something that they are already familiar with. They can use different color markers, crayons, even pen and pencil. Please open up with me Book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 3b. Now the dwelling of God is with men, and He will live with them. They will be His people, and God Himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying of pain. For the old order of things has passed away. He who has seated on the throne said, I'm making everything new. Then He said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. Have you ever been given a project in your life, a job, an assignment, and you ended up failing and not delivering results? And instead of a beautiful picture, instead of something that has some meaning in it, and people will come and look at it and can use it, all what you practically end up is a scribble. You ended up doing something that is completely doesn't make any sense, and not only people around you surprised, you kind of surprised too. Now, I've been in those situations. I had those moments, a lot of those moments in my life. And what God taught me through my Christian life is not to give up. And the first thing you need to do when you just, at that moment, when you realize that, you know what, I ruined it, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, the first thing you need to do is to go straight to God, find a place in a car, in a closet, in your room, and pray. Get the Bible, pray as much as you can, and hand this, as you think, ruined piece of paper, ruined project, ruined job, hand it to God and say, God, and just lay it all out to Him. Just say the way it is. He will handle it. He can do that. He's seen the worst, you know. Just read Psalms from David. David said everything the way he felt to God. So go ahead and tell him, and you will be surprised in seeing what God actually will going to do, what God actually can make out of this that you think should go into wastebasket and should be forgotten about and burned. God will say, no, 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 I'll use it, I'll make something awesome out of this. And what he does, he's not looking at our situation from the same perspective. What he does, he comes and he looks at it, and then he looks at it again, and he turns it around, and he flips it over, and then he said, wait, I'll show you what this could be. I'll show you what this can turn into. And then, guys, you need to be patient and let God deal with it. If he would say and would like to use you, go ahead and let him use you in fixing the problem that ended up being created by you. And you will be amazed what he can turn this into. He can take any of your pain, any of your sorrow, any of the things that are not worthy of a time. He can take it and he can turn it around and he can twist it, he can add something to it, and it will be making a sense to you and to others. This project, this art exercise that we will be making today, probably one of my favorites, because I was introduced to this exercise since I was a little child by my two parents. Both of them are artists. My father is a graphic designer, my mom is an industrial designer. And both of them were pounding on my imagination and creativity since my early age. And it's really helped. And they were also introducing this little exercise for my sister, and she is a professional musician. And you know, if your child is in sports, if your child is in robotics, introducing them to this art project will be very beneficial and very helpful, because working on their imagination and creativity will be a key in their development, in their view of the life, in their problem-solving skills, and it will help them to approach problems and issues and tasks at school and at workplace from a different perspective. And this is, for the future generation, a very essential trait. So the first thing you need to do is to decide on the size of the paper that you would like to use. Now, the size of the paper will be determined by the age of your participants. Elementary students will be involved in this project. Then you might choose a smaller size of the paper, like 1/4, because they might not see in a bigger scale. They might be okay with the smaller images at that age. Consider to put only one image on a side of the paper, because you can flip it and make a new image on the other side, but try not to crowd one paper with many different images on it. If your audience is young, you can choose a smaller size. If you're talking about middle school children, then you might choose half a size. Use the full page for adults. So when you decide on the size of the paper, the next thing you need to do is to decide on the media that you will be using. We will be using at least 2 different colors for this project. We can mix and match medias,
but we also can mix and match colors. Crayons, markers, if you're doing this as an icebreaker at your work, you can just use pencils or a pen, but make sure every participant has a different color, or they're using pen, pencil, and a marker or highlighter. So it's in order to keep lines visible and who did which part in this creating this picture. For example, let me show you one person. Oh, it was me. The first thing what I did was this purple line was a scribble, switched the marker, and I add red lines, and now I see how two different people, two different media formed a whole picture. And this is very good to see who brings input into the final project. And especially if the whole group will be involved, each person will hold a different color and put only one line into the picture, and next person will put the next line, and eventually it will create a meaningful picture. Then you will be happy to see who did which part and how every single person in the group is important, and how every single person can give an improvement and help each other in the times of difficulty, in the times of need, in the times of maybe sorrow, that God can use other people. And that's what actually this exercise is about. It's about imagination, creativity, and teamwork. Now, also don't be discouraged if you are on your own and you're planning to do that every day as an exercise. You can use two different colors and first create meaningless scribble for yourself, and then just add, switch the colors and add the lines that will eventually make some sort of a meaning and finish up the project, and you will end up having a nice picture. So let's start our project, and I would suggest for every teacher who will be doing this project to show first how it's made, and then, so let me show you how you're going to be doing that. You can come to the group and say a few words about this activity, and then you can illustrate what do you mean by the word scribble, for example. So you can take one color of the crayon or marker and create something seriously that doesn't mean anything. And then you tell kids that, or adults, that they allowed to turn their piece of paper and to flip it upside down, to look into that picture from different points of view, from different perspective, because that's exactly what God's doing. That's why God gave us other people in our lives. So they looking from their point of view, from their perspective, and that's how we learn. You turn it, you show kids many different angles, and then when you see a picture, when you see something that can make a sense, what you're gonna do, you take completely different color and you start adding few lines. So there are some rules to this game. Don't add too many lines, and you also can time children. And the original scribble also shouldn't be too complicated. So let's finish up this project. And create some type of a bird. Few lines here, few lines there, under a minute, and the project should be finished, and you can move on to the next scribble. Now I will show you an idea about if whole group will be participating, if you have 3, 4, 5 kids in a group or adults. Make sure every member of the group, every participant will have their own color again. And make sure that they know who's like the sequence, who's following who. So for example, a first person, and I will even put my colors in the sequence. The first person will make a scribble. Again, something absolutely meaningless. Then they pass this paper to the next person, and the next person will add, and also they can turn, they can look into the picture from different points of view, and keep in mind and remind kids that that's exactly what they do when they see clouds, when they see some patterns in a marble. So let's do something like this. This paper is passed to the next person. Next person comes with the green marker, and they, oh, I see what you mean. And they allowed to add only one line. Next person understands what they both meant in this picture, and then passing along to the last person, and last person adds the last detail that will finalize the image. So this is like a little workout for our brain, for our imagination and creativity. And make sure if you're playing more than once, make sure if you are working with a group, they're not going to end up creating the same thing over and over and over again. So I hope you'll enjoy this little exercise, and I hope your group will come up with wonderful ideas. They will learn what teamwork is all about.
Our main muscle that is responsible for creativity and imagination got a very good workout. I hope you were inspired by God of Second Chances, by His Word, and with the help of this tutorial. I also hope that you refreshed your knowledge about 4 elements of art: dot, line, shape, and color, about 2 principles of art: point of view and perspective. I hope you worked well as a team and ended up creating wonderful mixed media drawings. And actually, it's my time to thank you for stopping by. And I would like to ask you, if you enjoyed this video, if you find it useful and helpful, please click the like button, subscribe for my channel, leave a comment. I'll see you next Monday for the next 3rd artistic exercise. And I wish you a great, blessed day, and may God bless you. Bye.